This is Kevin from Texas Yardman and More. Wanted to get a close-up video of what some of these leafcutter and mason bees are doing. These are leafcutter bees here, but you can see that they have started to come out of the bee block, and you can see where they chewed through the opening, and you can see some bees right in there in the holes. And I just wanted to see, if you look to the right of your screen, you'll see a couple of the holes still plugged. The bees have not emerged from that cell yet, but you can see over on the left hand side of your screen that there is an opening on that one, and that's where the leafcutter bees emerge from out of their cocoon status. And this is some video from the Costco bee house, and I'll zoom out here so you can see. This is the Costco bee house made by Bambico, sold at Costco, and a lot of these bees have come out of their cocoons, and now they're utilizing this bee house to produce the next generation of leafcutter bees. And they're using all the tubes and the bee block and the cell blocks that are in this bee house. And these are the holes or cells in the bee block, and here are the tubes. Maybe we'll capture some bees going in and out of those tubes. There's one up at the top center. You can see the body of the bee there, and is a female bee. Lots of bee activity today. It's fun to watch these guys. And I can see one of the tubes is kind of sliding out. I'm gonna push it back in. Maybe it's off camera, but it's like right up here in the top. There, I just pushed it back in. These are great bee houses. highly recommend you getting one. If you need bees to do any kind of pollinating for you in your yard or your ranch or wherever, sometimes you can even just put them up just to watch them and help the next generation of leafcutter bees. You just have to make sure that there's plenty for them to pollinate, either in your yard or the neighbors' yards. The mason bee is a bee that comes out much sooner than the leafcutter bee. Mason bees come out like right in early spring, so their season starts sooner, and the leafcutter bee has a much later season. Here it is about June 5th, 2020, and these bees seem to be very active, the leafcutter bee for sure. And I'm going to zoom back in. So you can purchase leafcutter bees online. There's different websites there that you can go to, but this bee block is from Midas Bees, and this bee block came full of cocoons. And a lot of them have started to hatch already. As I showed you earlier in the video, you can see where the openings were chewed open, and the bees emerged from their cocoons. And a lot of these bees that you see buzzing around here are probably the ones that came out of those cocoons or cells. And inside the bee house there, you can see a lot of remnants of when they came out of the cocoons. You can see a lot of the tailings or the remnants of the leaves. You can see, I'll see if I can get a shot right at the bottom of your screen here. Right at the very bottom there, you'll see cocoons as well as remnants of the leaves that they use to seal up their cells. They've fallen down there at the bottom of your screen there, and they're just laying there. And I have some cocoons as well that are just laying there. Bees haven't emerged out of them yet. And down here in the center bottom, you can see the remnants of where the bees came out of those tubes and chewed their way out. Those are the tailings. Same thing right there. So you have some bees that choose to use the bee block holes, and what's those yellow holes that you see on the screen there, as well as the bee tubes off to the left. Some of them choose to use the bee tubes. There's some of the bee tubes. And I have noticed that some of the bees are larger than the other bees, and I'm thinking that the larger ones are the females and the smaller ones are the males. I'll get a zoom in, take a look at these bees here. And what it appears to be there is the female bee sealing the opening. That is fresh leaves. If you look in the center of the screen there, it kind of looks like the number 4 on a dice. You'll see their kitty corner from one another, opposite corners. Those are fresh leaves where the female bee has sealed up those cells. So she's done laying her larvae, and when she gets to the end like that, she seals it up. That's why they call them the leafcutter bees, because they cut pieces of leaf to seal up the chambers in her cells, and then she seals up the very last opening with leaf remnants. And there is a good picture of the female right there, working hard, sealing it up. And there's the second bee. And you can actually see that she has pieces of bee. The one on the bottom of the screen, she actually has pieces of leaves with her. And she's installing that right now. Pretty amazing little creatures. And in the wild, they will utilize any kind of a crevice or hole that they can find. So once again, these bee blocks, this yellow styrofoam bee block can be purchased online from Midas Bees, my friends over there. You can get a discount, and I'll put that in the link of the video. If you just click on or enter in the promo code, you'll get a discount off the purchase of bees or bee blocks or anything that you purchase from their website. I'm going to try to turn and show you an example of one from last year. There's a good example right there. In your lower right hand side, you'll see an existing hole that was sealed last year. And then bees emerge from that hole by chewing their way out of it. There's a hole from last year, and a bee is utilizing it. You can see her torso in there and movement. There's one up above too. And I'm about 3-4 feet away from the bee house. These bees are not bothered by me, and they're not bothering me. They're just going about their business. Very docile bees, and they are native bees. This is not a bee hive, so they're not trying to protect the hive. This is just a bee house, and they don't produce honey, so they're just all about pollinating and producing for the next year. Native bees of Central Texas. And this bee here is doing some final touches on her cell. Pretty fascinating to watch these creatures at work. Things people take for granted or don't pay attention to. And like I said, we're zoomed in real close. And on the right hand side of the screen here, you can see two bees inside the cell. You can see movement in there. They're moving around. So I'm going to zoom out now. So there you have it, folks. Costco Bee House, made by Bambico, sold at Costco stores. Those 3 slots on the top are for butterflies to go inside. And the rest, the tubes and the cell blocks, are for the bees. And you're going to want to make sure that you place the bee house on a shaded side of a shed or the side of a house or structure to where it doesn't get too much sun during the day, to where the bees will overheat. So I have this on the north side of my shed, and it's in a shaded area through at least half of the day, and it's right underneath my plum tree, so the plum tree gives it some shade as well. That way the bees don't overheat. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like or subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. And if you would like to be notified of any future videos, please click on the bell in the upper right hand corner of your screen. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.